Hey guys, welcome back to another video on my channel. Today we are back with Snapshot 23w51a. Now this is releasing on a Monday, probably because the Minecraft devs are going on their Christmas break, so let's cover what is new. This is the update that adds the Armadillo, or at least the snapshot that adds the Armadillo to Java Edition. But before we jump to the Armadillo, there are some other 1.21 changes, so let's quickly just cover them. First change, there are some new sound effects to the breeze. This one is deflect, so this is when it deflects a projectile. That is what it sounds like. Next is idle in the air. That is also new, I believe. This one I don't think is new, but this is idle on the ground. So there is a difference if it's idle in the air or idle in the ground. And then finally, we've got whirl. I don't exactly know when this one is played, but that is it. It's just like a little breeze sound or wind sound effect. And I played them all again with me not speaking, just so you guys could hear them a little bit better. Now, some other changes. The trial spawner, if we quickly just grab this, this will now have a default loot table when placed down. What I mean by this is the item that pops out the top. Before, if you was to place the spawner down, it wouldn't have a default loot table. Now, if we quickly just spawn the spawner and let it spawn the zombies and then kill the zombies, I placed this spawner down, so it isn't one from a trial chamber. It should now pop out an item. And, okay, it's not done spawning just yet. There are still a few more mobs we have to take out. There we go. This should be the last one, I believe. Is it going to pop out? Yes. And as you can see, it pops out glowberries because they are within the loot table. Before, it wouldn't pop out any item because by default, there'd be no loot table assigned. I don't know why this change was made, probably to make it easier for people to understand how they can add loot tables. But any trial chamber spawner you place down now will always have the default loot table being glowberries, keys, and stuff like that. A minor little tweak to llamas and shulkers, they can no longer break armor stands. So the projectiles from the shulker or the spit from the llama will no longer be able to break these. So if you have these near armor stands, you don't have to worry about the armor stands being broken or lost anymore. And then one more change, scutes. Turtle scutes have been renamed to turtle scute. Before, it would just be called scute. Well, they've made that change to match up with the armadillo scute so you didn't get confused on where they come from. Now let's quickly cover the armadillo, because this is going to be very quick. There isn't really any differences between Java and Bedrock. I'm pretty sure they are exactly the same. The only difference is, inside of the Java patch notes, Minecraft mentioned this is a passive mob, meaning that it will never be able to attack a player or another entity. Inside of the Bedrock Edition patch notes, it mentioned that it was a neutral mob, meaning that it will attack if provoked. Well, in Java Edition, that isn't the case, and it should never attack anything currently. I don't know if that will change, and this is just like the first version. But this is what it looks like. The model and animations look to be the same as well. If we go and start... No, let's not go in survival mode. If we start sprinting, it jumps into its ball. And don't forget, this is not listening to feedback. I know there has been a lot of feedback about the eyes being on the front looks horrible. And also the fact that it shouldn't have its head poking out when it turns into a ball. The changes from feedback will most likely be implemented in the new year. And they want to see everyone's feedback and changes before they make any. But I personally, I like the eyes being on the front. I do think they look weird on the side. I have altered it in like a Photoshop. One thing that we can do on Java Edition that you can't do on Bedrock, we can get the data of the entity. So we can look at health and everything like that. So glaze cooldown ticks, I'm guessing that's while it's inside of its ball, it looking around maybe. I'm not exactly too sure what everything means. We then have health. How much health does the mob have? Where is health? It's somewhere down here normally. It has 12 health, so that is 6 hearts. I think that's a decent amount. It's not too overpowered, but it's not too strong either. Maybe I think when it goes in its shell, it should gain like an extra few hearts, kind of like turtles. It's not taking damage. That popping sound is it jumping into its shell. If we do that again, yeah. Okay, that's kind of cool, and it does have sound effects. We'll look at all the sound effects in a second. But a few things, if you didn't watch my Bedrock Edition video, the armadillo is breedable with spider eyes, it will spawn within the savanna biome, it will roll up if it has a threat, threats being players sprinting, undead mobs, or players in vehicles or boats. And it will also not roll up if it's on a lead, so if you leash one, it will then not be able to roll up. As you can see, I'm sprinting around it and it's not rolling up in a ball. So that is a way to make it so they can't roll up. They are quite slow as a mob. They're not like really fast. So leading them, it like drags them a little bit and their feet goes mental. How you get armadillo shells is the same as Bedrock. They will drop randomly on the floor, kind of like how chickens lay eggs. Or you can brush the armadillo to get scute. Now, from one brush, it takes quite a bit of damage. If we look, it took... Oh, wow. Okay. What is that? I don't even know how to math. But let's quickly just see. You can get 4 scutes from one brush. You need an extra 2 because you need 6 for a single wolf armor, and you only get 4 from a single brush. A quick little cover of wolf armor. Wolf armor can only be equipped by the wolf's owner. So if you don't own the wolf, or it is a untamed wolf, you would not be able to put the armor on the wolf. Well, it doesn't seem that the armor is classed as an item. If we now look at this, the data of this one, this is the one with the armor. We can see that it doesn't specify there's armor items on the wolf. So I'm guessing it's done like horses, where it's not an actual armor item the player wears. If we look, armor is set to 0, whereas down here, armor is set to 1. So that is the only way to tell. It doesn't seem like it has any attributes to the wolf. It must just be done within the code. Jump into the patch notes screen because I want to talk about something. First of all, there is some technical changes. Data pack version is now data pack version 27, and this brings quite a few things. Llamas now use a new damage type for spit instead of mob projectile. Something has also been removed here related to mob instant tags. I don't exactly know what that means. They have added a generic scale attribute that can be used to rescale any living entity. That's kind of cool. Okay, we'll maybe look at that later on. Maybe not in this video, maybe in another video. But this is quite big. Player reach distance can now be controlled with the generic block interaction range and generic entity interaction range attributes. This was my thoughts of how the actual, crab claw would work. So it's cool to see that they've implemented it anyway, so players can expand upon it. And then there are a lot of bugs. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot of bugs. I think this is the most bugs we've seen in quite some time. But anyway, that is where I'm going to end this video. Once again, if you want to know a bit more in detail on how the armadillos work, I will definitely recommend going and checking out the Bedrock Edition video, as that is linked in the description. To end off the video, let's just run some of the armadillo sounds so you guys can hear what they sound like. Anyway, that is where I'm going to say bye for this video, and once I've said goodbye, I will then roll all of the sounds for the armadillo. Anyway, if you enjoyed, do leave a like and subscribe, and I guess I'll see you guys in a new year for more snapshots, or if you enjoy watching other videos, I'll have a video out probably on Wednesday inside of Vault Hunters. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.